Greetings monsters and monsterites of all types. This is Monster Master Arthur bringing you a brand new video of immense proportions. In recent times here on World of Monsters, we've talked a lot about werewolves, a lot. Ghouls and, well, all that other twisted stuff over on our live monstercasts. However, there is one question we have neglected. A question promptly raised by Weapons Master Shad. But what about dragons? Dragons are arguably the most famous or infamous, depending on your point of view, monsters in fiction. At the very least, the most recognizable. So it is no surprise that many of these enormous beasts have conquered the cinemas and hoarded the silver screens in many a picture. But which ones among them has had the proper girth to be worthy of the moniker Titanic? Which are the top 10 biggest dragons in movies? That is what we are going to find out today. Before we begin, let us quickly go over the rules for entry into this list. The list will include only movie appearances. Dragons from games, books, ongoing series, and other media that is not a full movie are not eligible for an entry in this countdown. Sorry Drogon fans, maybe next time. Only one entry per movie. A series or universe can have multiple entries, but they need to be the biggest dragons in separate movies, not all existing in one movie. Only one version of the same creature can count as an entry. Starting our dive into the ginormity of this topic is a terror that stems from times almost ancient. Beowulf's Dragon from 2007's Beowulf. This hellish beastie made a reputation for itself within one of the most respected English manuscripts of times old, and although its origins differ in this modern retelling, this golden nightmare is an honorable reminder of what was one of the first dragons ever to be conceived, and with its imposing stature cements itself on the number 10 spot with a body length of 125 feet or just over 38 meters and a bulk of 85 tons or 170,000 pounds. Soaring 1,000 years into the future, I would advise you to seek shelter, for the devil that has left the Earth's depths and landed onto this spot is the Bull, or male dragon, from 2002's Reign of Fire. This ancient beast and its brood evolved millions of years ago upon Earth and has been speculated to be what truly brought an end to the dinosaurs' reign over the planet, as it would periodically awaken from hibernation, triggering the hatching of all the fertilized eggs the females of the species would lay near it, and remake the surface in fire. A dangerous adversary to be sure, coming to the length of 44 meters and mass of 150 tons, or 300,000 pounds. Unless you have anti-tank ordnance, I would suggest great caution when dealing with it. Lacking wings but making up for them with not one or two but 7 additional heads. Feast your eyes upon the Orotsi from 1994's Orotsi the 8-Headed Dragon. As if the multiple crowned heads and towering height wasn't intimidating enough, this majestic monstrosity inspired by Japanese mythology can indeed blast scorching flames from each one of the 8 maws, pleasingly coinciding the ability with the aesthetics of the red and yellow exterior. Having a stocky build required to securely support the many enormous necks, the Orotsi firmly plants itself as number 8 with a length of 62 meters and bulk of 500 tons, more than tripling the previous entry in size. Don't count your lucky stars yet, as dropping down far from the alien heavens above, we have a creature, metallic and cold, contrasting the menace below it on the list, Dragonstorm, from 2017's Transformers: The Last Knight. Despite not being a biological creature, this combined union of the 3 old knights more than earns its spot as a dragon that helps secure the safety of the Kingdom of Camelot, as well as that of the Autobots' homeworld of Cybertron, shredding its way through the ranks of the Decepticons. Reaching 70 meters, this unstoppable composition, though bearing 5 less heads, outshines the grounded Orotsi in bulk as it comes in at an additional 100 tons, tipping the scales at 600 tons. To round up the bottom half of our list, who better to introduce than arguably the most infamous of epic dragon contenders, Smaug from 2012 to 2014's The Hobbit trilogy, last great dragon of Middle-earth, usurper, king of Erebor, the worm of dread. While not the biggest, Smaug is by far the richest dragon on the list, as he took over the dwarven kingdom of Erebor and turned the vast cavern holding their hoard of gold and precious gems into his lair, and their treasure into his very bed, despite being possibly the smallest great worm created by the power of Morgoth, the first Dark Lord. This personification of greed, fire, and death easily outclasses all of our previous entries at 128 meters and a weight of 750 tons.
Do you now?
Swooping down onto the next slot comes another creature that appears to seek solitude within the great collections of others. The dragon from 1994's The Pagemaster. Despite being a little more bestial than an intellectual such as Smaug, this animated cold-blooded monster makes up for it with an overall thicker body and 2 more legs. A great guardian, no doubt. Just be sure to have a backup plan when inviting this scaled monster into your castle, cave, or dungeon. Although shorter than our previous entry at 90 meters, the Dragon of the Pagemaster sustains an additional heaviness of 100 tons, earning its position at 850 tons. While the lands may be vast and great libraries and treasures mesmerizing, they cannot compare to the expanse of the sky, ruled by the penultimate entry on our list, Celestial Dragon from 2007's Dragon Wars: D-War. Originally born as great serpents named Imuji that dwell upon the earth, should one of them be able to obtain the Yuiju, a great ancient power that manifests itself onto the world every 500 years, they will transform and ascend into dragonhood, commanding dominion over the heavens. With a body lacking in major girth contrasts, the mass continues quite consistently for 165 meters, weighing in at 1,425 tons. Emerging from the mountains comes forth a beast which may be much less graceful than many of our previous giants, but one that easily puts each to shame. It is known as the Queen of Dragons, the Red Death, from 2010's How to Train Your Dragon. This enormity is a dangerously cunning creature equipped with 3 pairs of eyes, hardened outer scales, and the ability to subdue mentally weaker dragons than itself to its will. The likes of the previous entries have strong enough wills to resist such an ability, but the Red Dragon would not need to rely on it much, as it is over 4 times the size of our previous entry, coming to a length of 156 meters and a bulk of 5,850 tons. Undoubtedly impressive, but the Red Death does not hold the title of the biggest dragon in its respective universe. That title would belong to the King of Dragons, the Bewilderbeast, from 2014's How to Train Your Dragon 2. Living in the great dark depths of the ocean, this behemoth can truly be described as titanic. Its environment and non-reliance on flight has allowed it to reach a truly staggering size of 218 meters long and weight coming to 7,500 tons. In addition to this, it is also equipped with 2 giant tusks used for goring, the same ability to dominate weaker-willed dragons, as Bewilderbeasts are often the patriarchs of dragon colonies, and the considerably more impressive ability of breathing ice rather than fire, with which they have been known to create entire glaciers and even islands. Before we unveil the curtain of the height of this list, we would like to present these honorable mentions. Vermithrax Pejorative of Dragon Slayer 1981. Draco of Dragonheart 1996.
You sound like one who tried.
Eborsisk, the Two-Headed Dragon of Willow 1988. Considering its undragon-like appearance to some, rather than dealing with confused and trolling comments, the Eborsisk has earned a place here. And not to mention, who can really complain about adding another dragon to the video? The World Gobbler of Dragon Hunters 2008. This would be our largest measurable dragon on the list at 11,000 tons plus, if it were more than just a skeleton. And Shenron or Shenron, from the Dragon Ball movies. The reason he is not officially on this list is due to his ever-changing form whenever he appears, as in some instances he would manifest a body that would land him at the bottom of this list, while on others he would become so massive that he would take the top spot. So due to this inconsistency in size, he takes the top spot among our most honorable mentions.
I gotta make this fast, Shenron!
And now the moment you have all been waiting for. Through the course of this list, we have gone through devils beneath the earth, kings upon the earth and water, and godly protectors from the skies. However, all of them pale in size, power and grandeur in comparison to the great horror beyond the cosmic void which holds the #1 spot. Ghidorah. From 2018's Godzilla, the Planet Eater. The three-headed golden devil was the equivalent of Godzilla, specifically a creature born by the mysteries of nature, but summoned by a group of its worshippers of an advanced alien race known as the Exif, for the obliteration of civilizations. This would take place as the Exif would travel throughout the universe in search of other planets populated by intelligent life to which to spread their religion to, and then to sacrifice by ritually bringing Ghidorah back into their reality so that he could slaughter and consume the creatures, further increasing his power with an end goal of eternally manifesting. Even without his ability to ignore the rules of physics, this cosmic threat would be more than a match for most beings, as it blows out all the previous entries in this list, with its true body coming to a length of 12.43 miles and an unknown weight, but large enough to allow the Planet Eater to manipulate the gravity around him. Well, dear monsters and Monsterites, this concludes our countdown on the 10 biggest dragons of movies. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it informative, perhaps spotting a film or two that you have not seen but would like to. What is your favorite biggest dragon in movies? Did we miss anyone that should be on the list? Let us know in the comments below. You may also want to check out an older video of ours on the greatest dragons. And with that, I bid you a good evening. Stay monstrous, my friends.